I know my shirt is mad wrinkled right now, but that's not why we're here. We're here to learn. We're not here to judge.
So please don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
Greetings, good day, and welcome. I'm Deanna, project manager and grants consultant, and today someone said that they would love to know more about the challenges working as a project manager in the development field and what I love about it. So let's talk about it. On today's agenda, we're going to first talk about the challenges of working as a project manager in the grants and development field, obviously. Then we're going to go into what I love about operating and working in this field. Then we're just going to wrap it up with a quick summary, conclusion, and final thoughts. So let's get things started and talk about the challenges that I face as a project manager of development. First and foremost, and I'm pretty sure anybody who has gone after a grant can agree with this, but the first challenge is the complexity of grant applications. For me, I have worked on grants that are boom, bam, bow, right to the point. They want very concise and concrete information about who you are, what you do, and how much money you want and what you're trying to do with that money. However, all I know is I am working in spaces that have large budgets, and with those large budgets, they need large chunks of funding. So if I am requesting over $1 million from a funder, there's a lot of that comes with asking for that $1 million. And when I say that, I mean that I am putting together a narrative, sometimes is 20 plus pages. I am also comprising a lot of stats and data and sheets and graphs and tables and such into that proposal package to submit with the narrative. And I'm just making sure that we have all required attachments, all budget worksheets, everything that you could possibly imagine, detailing that and putting it in a single packet and sending it to a single funder is sometimes excruciating. I've definitely gotten much better in the flow of it because I've been doing this for a number of years, but that don't mean I don't get tired. No one funder is going to ask for the same exact thing as another funder, so I have to take each proposal that I do and tailor it to the funder that I'm trying to partner with, or have the organization that I'm representing partner with. And before even jumping into the applications and starting to write, it is vital that I also grasp a thorough understanding of the grant guidelines and the requirements for that proposal. I gotta go through eligibility requirements. I gotta go through other checklists and such that the funder needs you to complete before you can even think about connecting with them for a potential partnership and grant opportunity. Challenge number 2, which I think is another obvious one, but it's the competition for funding. I talked about this in, what video was that? I'm pretty sure it was like the best video you'll ever see about grants and development, which it is. So if you haven't watched that and you're curious about grants and development, go check that out. But as I mentioned, being a woman of color who is working in spaces with other people of color, that alone is limited funding. Though there are billions and billions of dollars available in the donation pool, barely 10% of that goes to organizations that are serving people of color, and even less than that goes to organizations not only serving people of color but that are also operated by people of color. There is such a lack of Black representation in the grants and development field, so it just makes it that much harder to connect with funders, and not just connect with them, but for them to actually award you with money. So though the funding is available, that don't mean you're gonna get it. And if you are someone that looks like me, it's even harder for us. So sorry, that's the reality of the situation. However, that is why I'm here, and I'm trying to change the trajectory of that, okay?
Okay.
Third challenge for me is managing multiple projects. Full-time, I am a project manager of development. Part-time or hustle time, whatever you want to call it, I am a grants consultant. In both of those spaces, I am managing multiple grant opportunities, multiple awards, multiple applications, and sometimes my brain just it's hard to keep up with all of that. When first stepping into this role, I really had to sit back and take the time to find what practices work best for me, so that I was managing each project well, that my time management skills were like A1, like A above and beyond, okay? And I got lucky that naturally I'm a strong organizer. I've been color coordinating and everything for as long as I can remember, so I was able to transfer those skills into my role, but it was still hard. Okay, fourth challenge, and I could probably talk about this for hours and hours, but it's stakeholder management. I remember how I said earlier that not every funder is going to ask for the same thing in their grant application. The same thing applies when you receive a grant award and you have to submit reports, budgets, templates, other information, etc., etc. Typically, when you're given a grant award, it'll last for a year or 12 months from whatever time that the grant was received by you, and then 12 months later the grant is over, the grant agreement is closed, right? But in those 12 months, I've had instances where a funder will literally just want a simple report, 1-page update about if you hit your goals and objectives that you said you were, if you were to receive these funds, what is your organization looking like right now, how you've been operating, etc., etc. They'll ask that at typically the 6-month and 12-month mark. So they want a progress report and then a final report. Some donors, as just straight to the point. They don't need all the extra boom bam bow. They just want to see that you are doing what you said you would do with that money. And then you have narratives and data and stats and stuff to support what you said you did or are doing. However, I also have funders that are the complete opposite, and they want a report submitted every month, or you have reports submitted every quarter. Some reports have been pages and pages long, so it feels like you're submitting a whole other application to them, but it's a report. It's just a follow-up. But as I said, it's to the discretion of the funder. Some of them, boom, bam, bow, straight to the point. Others make the process a little bit more challenging. Some of them will only communicate with you when the report is due. Others want you to keep them engaged on social media. They want to be a part of your listserv. They want to get all possible updates that they possibly can about your organization and such. They want to arrange calls, meetings, new charts and stuff for you to fill out. Not every stakeholder is going to have the same requirements, so balancing who needs what and how to best give it to them, yeah, it'd be a lot. As I said, a challenge. Challenge number 5 is compliance and reporting. As you guys have heard me say before, after you get the grant award, there's usually reporting that has to be done afterwards. And sometimes the reporting can be very smooth and easy, and other times it's not. Some donors are very lax in the information that you give them, but others are very strict, and you have to follow very specific guidelines to make sure that what you are reporting meets their requirements. And to be able to report on the work that you're doing, you have to make sure that you and your team are meticulously documenting everything and that you are tracking everything, so you have that information to utilize for a report later on. And if you guys are not tracking stuff and there's some gaps in your information and such, your funder is not gonna be happy. And yes, that has happened to me before. We could talk about that another day. It wasn't my doing, but I did have to fix it. You ever work in a group project and the majority of y'all, you get your parts and stuff, everybody put in everything that they need to, and then it's that one person that slacks and think they just gonna walk into class, day of presentation, and just read from one of the slides that they didn't contribute to? Yeah. And last but certainly not least, challenge number 6 is the uncertainty and risk management. The grants and development field can be real brutal sometimes. And I have heard a lot of different stories and such of nonprofits having to close their doors because they weren't able to get funding. Now, I am blessed that I am in spaces that has not happened, and we've had a continuous flow of funding coming in order to keep our doors open and continuing to do our work and serve the people that we serve and the communities that we work in. However, there have been times, again, we could talk about this another day, where funding can get denied, or you thought you were going to have this amount of money, but you really have that amount of money, and you have to juggle and figure things out. Like, there's so much uncertainty that comes with doing this work, and honestly, it's really frightening sometimes, and I be wondering how I keep doing it. No funny shit. I really be wondering how, because like, can you imagine you have a large budget and you think you're about to get like $1 million or $2 million and you just don't? So balancing that risk and uncertainty and like making sure that things go this way and not that way, but sometimes you can't control it. Whew, I don't even want to think about it. We thank God that I don't have these issues right now. We thank God. All right. So we talked about how challenging and scary grants and development can be, but I'm still here, right? So there must be some things that I love about it. First and foremost, and this might sound a little cheesy, but I'm making a positive impact in the spaces that I've worked in. If the organization that I represented was not there, the people who were being served or the communities that were being served wouldn't have what they needed to grow and succeed. Like, I've witnessed it time and time again, how the young people that we serve at these organizations walk in and thank the leaders and thank the teachers and the staff and such, because without them, they would be lost. And I can't imagine not being able to help these spaces have the funding that they need to keep working, and then those young people lack what they need. So I have a big hand in this work, and yes, you know, the money and such is important, of course, but it's so much more than that. Like, it's so much more than just the dollar sign. That's what I'm focusing on, but that dollar sign goes so far, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know the money that I bring in is not going in my pockets, but that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. I have been in spaces where I've watched young girls thrive and achieve their dreams, and they are so smart and talented, and they were finally given a space to grow and blossom. I have been in spaces where young people came from hard backgrounds. Like, as I said, I'm a girl who grew up in the projects. A lot of people did not think that I would make it far, and here I am now, and I'm able to translate that with other young people who are also coming from spaces that I came from, and they just trying to grow and do better too. And I'm able to use my work to help them grow and thrive. And I'm able to work in a space where we are working to bring the humanity back to people of color, and just allow them to be in a space where they can be all that they can be if they weren't restricted from doing so. So yeah. Second, and I know this is something that's going to be happening for the rest of my time that I spend in the grants and development field, but it's the continuous learning and growth. Over the last 6 years, I think now, I went from not knowing nothing about grant writing. I took a few classes and such and understood what that realm was and what it entailed. I was presented an opportunity to be a development associate for Butterfly Dreams. Shout outs to Joy, I love her so much. I was able to grow with her and move on to being a development fellow for the Newark Opportunity Youth Network. Shout outs to them as well. Then I was able to grow from a fellow to a coordinator to a manager of grants and development, and now I have made my way into being a project manager of development at the Mariah Group. And with each step and with each role and with each organization that I worked in, I learned, I can't even put into words how much I've learned and the opportunities that have been presented to me. And like, I've not only grown and developed professionally, but personally as well. I'm able to utilize everything that I've learned over the years still now, and there's still so much more for me to learn. Like, even after this video, I'm about to go online and see other webinars and such that I can engage with other people doing development work and learn. It is an ever-changing field, and I don't imagine that it will ever stop changing. There's so much growth and shifts that's happening in the world of grants and development, and I'm just trying to keep up with it. So, as I said, that just means I'm continuously learning and growing. Third, it's really nice to know that I work in a very collaborative environment. Now, though I am the head person when it comes to grants and development in the spaces that I am working in, I need my team. Like, I need my team.
What's gonna work? Teamwork!
There's just certain things that I don't know. There are, when I'm reviewing something, there are points that I will miss. There's information that if I didn't have somebody to give it to me, I would never have it. And I am not the only one who puts these applications together. Yes, I am the submitter, and as I said, yes, I am the lead on the application, and I'm the one that's constructing it and such, but I need people's input. I need people to give me information on like the budget and the numbers that they need. I need people to give me further details about the programming if anything has shifted and such. Yes, I can put all your information down and make it beautiful and pretty and all the edits and such, but I need you to give the information to me off rip. If we don't work together, if I'm not efficiently collaborating and connecting with the people that I am working with, we ain't gonna get shit done. No proposals are gonna go out there and no money is gonna come in. But on top of being in a collaborative environment, I have been able to work with a number of different people, different backgrounds, doing different work, supporting different communities in different and various ways, some ways in which I would have never even thought existed, but I was able to find out about them because I work in grants and development. So it's like a continuous environment of diversity and connecting and change and such, and I really like that a lot. Fourth, and I think this has helped me a lot in just various realms of my personal and professional life, but it's creative problem solving. If grants and development has taught me to do anything, it's finesse. Like that word, I don't know who came up with the word finesse, but it literally describes my day in and day out, honestly, truly. Handling certain challenges and putting like my strategic cap on and having to think of creative and very out of the box, innovative things to get things done has, as I said, contributed to my professional and personal life. It's like something having to use I guess the creative part of your brain unlocks something, so when that hatch is lifted, so much can pour out and so much good can come from that. Sometimes it's a little chaotic and I gotta step back and put some things back in the box, but being able to work in this space has given me the creativity to tackle problems that typically I don't know if I would have been able to solve. I know I've mentioned it time and time again, but being an innovator in the grants and development world is going to be your best friend. If you are struggling with being a creative thinker or a problem solver or even a leader in the spaces that you're working in, yes, I do have a video about that. Go watch it. And I would not have been able to even make that video and discuss it if I did not work in grants and development. And last thing I would love, or the last thing I'm going to mention that I love, because we could talk about this for hours and hours like I said, but it's the variety and excitement that comes in grants and development. Though yes, a challenge that I face is that the uncertainty and the risk that comes with grants and development can be really scary. That same uncertainty also means variety, and that same risk also comes with excitement. It is a job that comes with so many different projects, so many different challenges to tackle, so many different ways that I could use my brain to operate, solve, and contribute to something or solve something. It's phenomenal, to say the least. Over the years, I have submitted hundreds of applications to hundreds of different funders. I've submitted various reports and sheets and all these other things and such. Like I said, each one is different from the next. All of them are so unique, and so how I am approaching and engaging with people and such varies from application to application, and it doesn't leave me bored because there's so much variation, because there's so much differentiation of what people are requesting and such. Each application is like a new, I guess, challenge for me to tackle. But instead of letting that challenge get to me or whatever the case may be, or be stressed out by it, I'm like, how can I solve that? And I take that as an opportunity to, better myself, do better. And whatever challenge I face in that like application or that report or dealing with that stakeholder, I take that with me, put it in my pocket, tuck it in my brain, and use it for next time. But it's exciting to work on new things, to see where the funding is going. Like if I make $50K or $100K for an organization, I know exactly what that's being used for, and I know the impact that that's going to create and how many lives or how many communities are going to be changed by it. Like, how could I not get excited about that? Now before I get caught up, let's wrap things up. In conclusion, I don't think I would ever leave this field. I don't think I would ever leave this field. One of the things that I always say that grants and development has taught me is to accept rejection with grace. Even though I have been very successful during my time working in grants and development, I've had more no's than I have yeses.
No.
I've been denied from numerous applications, numerous people telling me they're not giving me and the organization that I'm representing money, like time and time again. Honestly, I probably got a rejection in my inbox from like a week ago. But though when I first stepped into this role, it was frustrating to keep getting those no's, I was able to take that rejection and turn it into yeses. There have been numerous applications where the first time applying, they said nah. But then the second time applying, they was like, ooh, all right, you made these updates, you made these changes and stuff. We see you, we're gonna give you money. And like that, just accepting rejection with grace just gives me the strength that I need to keep going and to keep learning and to keep growing and to keep doing the work that needs to be done, instead of just being like, you know what, I've been rejected too many times, I'm gonna stop, that's it, I'm tired. No, the work has to be done. So us in grants and development, we're gonna keep doing it. Would you look at that? You made it to the end of this video. Thanks for watching.
Sometimes goodbyes are a bitch.
T-shirt idea. Goodbye stink.
As I always say, these videos are inspired by you guys. So if anybody has any questions about project management, grants, development, all that jazz that you would like me to dive deeper into and talk about, just let me know and throw your questions or comments in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.